Friday, and today is EYT 82. Elevate your thoughts, evolve your thinking. Why can't I get motivated? I've heard this question so many times over the last days, weeks, months, years, quite frankly. I used to ask myself the same question. Why can't I get motivated? Why can't I get motivated? My focus was so much on lack of motivation that I stopped the little motivation I did have, because I kept asking myself that question. Why can't I get motivated? So if y'all been following me any time, you know that the quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions that you ask yourself. So if you are continuously asking, why can't I get motivated? Your focus, your energy, your everything is on why you can't and lacking. And I need this thing in order to do this thing. And you will stay stuck, stalled, stagnant, not moving forward, not because you lack motivation, but because your focus by way of the question that you ask yourself is on lack, is on why I can't, why I won't, and how I'm not, as opposed to what's one thing I can do today. You see, that's the difference in the question. The circumstances are the same. You are the same. But what you have invited is forward progress by way of what you're asking. That's the power of the questions that you ask yourself. So when you start asking yourself questions, well, in what ways can I take action? In what ways, what might I do one thing today that assures me that I've moved forward? You see, your focus is on action, assurance that I've moved forward. I'm wondering if you think you have to be, quote unquote, motivated to take one action, any action. We know that's not true because you take action all day, every day. In what ways? In what ways can I take action? What's one thing that I could do right here, right now, that at the end of the day, I can look at myself in the mirror and say, goodness gracious, girl. Goodness gracious. You took forward progress in the direction of your desires. What might my life look like and sound like and feel like if I did that every day? See, when you start asking yourself different questions, you start getting different results. Why? Because the questions impact the way you feel. The feelings impact the way you see yourself. The way you see yourself impacts how you talk about yourself. How you talk about yourself impacts how you feel. And how you feel impacts what you do. And what you do impacts your results. It's a big circle. So you got the power. And if you're seeking external motivation, you're seeking external, unregulated, you're seeking an external, inconsistent action. You're seeking external, if you're seeking external motivation, you're seeking inconsistent, lack of being consistent, because external is going to ebb and flow in accordance with what's important to it. So if you need some person to motivate you, it's not going to last, honey. If you need something to motivate you, some situation or circumstance, it ain't going to last. Why it ain't going to last? Because situations and circumstances and people change. So today is July 19th, Friday. This is EY 282. If you are a subscriber, you know that this is available for replay anytime, as well as the other 81 other ones are available for replay. If you're not a subscriber, simply become one today. So you can watch this over again later on this evening. You can, and you're got to drive this weekend, you can drive and listen to it or whatever. The point is, I'm going to teach you something in the next 15 to 20 minutes. And then we're going to get into it. And I got a graphic for you. All right, let me turn this around. Let's get into the lesson, and then I'll come back and answer any questions. And I don't think it's about discipline. I totally disagree with you. I don't think it's about motivation, but your discipline, I happen to personally disagree with you. But we'll talk about that later. Let me turn this around. Okay, motivation. Today's July 19th. If you're watching this, whenever you're watching this, the day I recorded it, the day I'm talking about it is the 19th. EYT 82, motivation. So let's talk about motivation. The definition of it is the reason or reasons for one has for acting or behaving a particular way. It's also the general desire or willingness of someone to do something. The general desire or willingness of someone to do something. So when you say, I just don't have any motivation, I just don't have motivation. Let's use the definition of motivation to change the verbiage that you're saying. I just don't have the reason to act. I just don't have the desire to do, right? And desire is a strong feeling of wanting to have something. Ooh. A desire is a strong feeling of wanting to have something. You know, all this aligns with be, do, and have. Become the thing, do it, and then you have the experience. This is all in alignment with be, do, and have. As you notice, you see have a lot. You see the reason to act, to do, the strong feeling. So let's again revise it. Let's talk about this. The reason to do, or the desire to do. The desire to do is fueled by the experience, to experience the prize of doing. So someone says, I lack the desire. You lack the desire to experience the prize that you get from the doing. You know what the prize you get from the doing is? The manifested desire fulfilled. So in other words, the prize you get from doing, the prize you get from okay, I'll use myself as example. The prize I get from showing up 82 times and doing these EYTs, teaching. I love to teach anyway. So the prize I get from teaching these things is the prize that I set, which was my manifested desire. What was my manifested desire? To live on assignment, to have the fulfillment of knowing I'm living on assignment, check, to generate income. Matter of fact, my goal was to double my income. My goal then became to triple my income. Check. So what you're saying is I lack the desire to experience the prize that comes from the doing. I wanted the prize from the doing. I wanted the fulfillment of when I lay in my bed at night, or when I lay on my sofa, when I lay this big old meat suit down, these meat pockets, and I ask myself, did I leave it on the field today? Did I live my assignment? My answer is yes. How can I confidently say yes? Because I showed up. And then when I look at my bank account and I say, hey, are you generating additional income rather than going out and getting a part-time job doing something you don't like just to get money? Are you generating income? And I look on my Stand store, I look in my bank account, and I say, yeah, I'm generating income. And what does that income give me? More freedom. More freedom. Freedom, which is one of my dominant core values. Freedom. So when somebody says I lack the desire, you're saying I lack the desire to experience the prize of doing. Maybe you don't have clarity around the prize of doing. Maybe you don't have clarity around the prize of doing. Well, let's work on that. Your manifested desire. What would it feel like to have it? How much would my life change if I had it? What happens? You see, these are clarity-rich quality questions to increase your quote-unquote motivation, which again is the reason one has for acting or the desire or willingness of someone. I had a willingness to experience financial freedom. I had a willingness to experience that. I had a willingness to not just exist, but to live in the most fulfilling way. And I know for me, the live in the most fulfilling way was me operating in my assignment. My assignment, if I took my assignment and narrowed it down to a one word verb, it's teach. The joy and the delight and the wonderment and the smile on my face and the way that my heart beats and I pitter pat, I practically dance when I grab my notebook and my pen and I start writing some stuff out and I start drawing those stick figures. I practically, it's joy. It's joy. It's all that I could describe it. It's joy. I wanted that. I didn't want to just show up and work and earn a paycheck. I wanted the joy of living on assignment. I wanted the joy. And then the joy came with financial freedom. You know why? I'm going to tell y'all something that I've said, for at least 22 years. Something that came to me one day, when I was allowing, the presence of God to offer me my next forward progress, or praying. That's what I call prayer. Prayer's an opportunity, an invitation to offer God, an invitation from God to offer to me my next forward progress. That's what I call prayer. The wealth you seek. And this gem came to me. One day I was praying or offering up myself to receive from God, omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent, all power, all knowing, everywhere, forward progress. And this word just sauntered into my atmosphere. This phrase sauntered into my atmosphere. And I bet you I've said it over 1 million times since then. I say it as I'm walking around. It is a robotic affirming mantra that I say so many times that my friends know me by it. If my friends do something and they generate income, and I may say, way to go. And they'll say, the wealth you seek is in your gifting. The wealth you seek is in your gifting or your gifts. What's my gift? Me operating on assignment. How do I make that something, an actionable thing? I dumb it down to a one-word verb, teach. Every time I teach, the wealth I seek is in my gifting. Most my gifting, teaching. Why is teaching important? Because it's me living on assignment. Every single time I teach, I experience freedom. Every single time. So, I experience, again, do you need to be motivated, or do you need some clarity? You see, I don't have motivation, or I need to be motivated, or I'm not motivated. Again, the strong feeling of wanting to experience the prize of doing. You saturate your system with that feeling because you've asked yourself these questions. What would it feel like? How might my life change? And what happens when I'm operating in that space? You saturate your system with the feeling, you experience inner transformation for outer realization. Inner transformation for outer realization. Some of y'all will say, I don't feel motivated, and that's the end of the story. That becomes the end of the story. And if the end of the story is I don't feel motivated, you don't get to the prize. That's it. So why can't I get motivated? It's because you haven't defined motivation. You haven't recognized the reason for it. You haven't decided that you want to experience the experience of the prize that you get in the doing. You haven't felt the feeling of the prize, saturated your soul with the feeling of the prize, which allowed and created inner transformation for outer realization. Why would self-sabotage plays a part? What are you talking about? What do you mean by that? See, this is what I love. This is what I love about these lives. This is what I love about it. I'm gonna show y'all something that I haven't done a video on, and so I'm glad. Thank you for saying self-sabotage plays a part, because I want to show you something. I ain't even done a video on it, but I'm gonna show it to you. You free up your energy by ignoring the noise. You know what self-sabotage is? It's negative opinions about yourself internally seeping out externally in the form of you trolling yourself. You know what self-sabotage is? It's noise. It's noise. It's a negative opinion about yourself that's internally seeping out externally. And so when self-sabotage presents itself, define self-sabotage. Define it. I mean, by definition, it's self-sabotage. It's trying to keep you small because you haven't saturated in your soul the inner transformation of what it feels like to feel the feeling of the wish fulfilled. And if you add in feeling the feeling of the wish fulfilled, that I'm safe. Don't y'all understand that at 51 and a half, I'm safer financially than I was when I didn't show up. When I didn't teach, I wasn't safe financially. I was worried about what's going to happen to me when I get older. How am I going to be able to pay for stuff? Who's going to take care of me? All of this debt. But when instead of saying I need some motivation and I showed up, I created more safety. I created more safety financially, paid off all my credit cards, all my bills, paid off my spouse's bills. We are safer financially. We have more freedom because we showed up. So again, self-sabotage will present itself saying, you're moving fast. You're moving me out of the comfort zone, and I don't know if it's safe. It's noise. You're trolling yourself. I don't know if the universe makes it uncomfortable until you do. I don't know, because uncomfortable is your decision. It's your decision if you're uncomfortable. So I can't say whether the universe does it or what have you. I know in nature, the mother bird, the mother bird has her baby birds in a nest. And the mother bird begins to make the nest uncomfortable. Because if the baby birds ain't jumping out and trying to fly, they got to learn how to fly. Otherwise, they're going to be susceptible to predators. So the mama bird, starts to remove all of the nice things that she did to create the nest. Move the cotton that she found, remove the niceties, remove the comfort, making it uncomfortable. And then baby bird's like, dang, that's sticking me in my side. This is uncomfortable. What else? How might I get comfortable? So nature does it. What small steps should one do to help them stay motivated? Experience the feeling of the prize. Feel the feeling of your desires fulfilled. Feel the feeling of your desires fulfilled. Do that. So you say, what small step? Go into the space of what you desire. Go into it in here. Saturate yourself with it. Every single day, saturate yourself with the feeling. Okay, again, y'all keep talking about discipline. I'm probably the least disciplined person I know. I'm probably the least disciplined person I know, and I'm probably one of the most successful people I know. Y'all want to call stuff discipline. I call it, I want to experience the prize of showing up. I want to experience the prize of what I get in the doing. You want to call that discipline? I don't. I don't call it discipline, because here's why I don't. When somebody wants to do something, they say, I got to get disciplined. I don't have a regimen. I don't have a process. I gave myself decisions. I personally think decisions are better than discipline. I've simply decided to show up. I've simply decided to show up. The what I desire to experience is stronger than me not showing up. So you call it whatever you want to call it. Call it whatever you want to call it. But I know that I personally have resistance around the word discipline. So when I kept telling myself, I got to get more discipline, I didn't show up. But when I removed the word and realized me showing up is discipline, I just don't have to call it that. It's a decision. Maybe some people have energy, positive energy around the word discipline. Run with it. I don't care what you call it. I don't care what you call it. Showing up consistently, taking forward progress, actionable steps in the direction of that which you desire. You can call it discipline. You can call it motivation. You can call it whatever you want to call it. It's just a story. Do y'all not understand all these words that we're talking about are just stories? It's just a story. It's just a story. See, look at all these people saying, oh, it's discipline. It's got to be discipline. It's not motivation. It's discipline. Then somebody says it's not discipline. It's failure to act. Then somebody says it's not this. It's this. Who gives a SHITFUCK what you call it? Who cares what you call it? Get up and go. Call it whatever you want to call it. Get up and go. Today, I desire to experience XYZ. ABC is where I start. And then at the end of the day, you look at yourself and said, I rocked ABC. Tomorrow is ABC, DEF. And then when you're laying there thinking about DEF, you're not thinking about DEF. You're thinking about the experience of your manifested desire, the freedom you feel, the joy you feel, the excitement you feel, the whatever you feel. I ain't thinking about, am I disciplined? Is it motivation? I don't give a... Get up and go. Get up and go. Because as long as you keep putting a word on why you can't do it, there's always going to be another word. As long as you keep putting a word on why you can't do it, there's always another word. Oh, no, it's not motivation, it's discipline. It's not discipline, it's self-sabotage. It's not self-sabotage, it's being proactive. It's not proactive, it is networking. It's not networking, it's imposter syndrome. Man, come on. I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said they get up in the morning and write down reasons why, they're trying to figure out why they can't take action. I said, so you get up in the morning and take out a pencil and piece of paper, and you start writing all the reasons why you can't take action? What's the action you want to take? And the person said, I want to start doing videos. And I said, so you're telling me you get up every morning and you, yeah, because I'm introspective. I need to know why. And I said, so you get up every morning, you take out a piece of paper, pencil, you set an alarm. Get your tail up, sit at a desk, Take out a piece of paper and a pencil and you start and you title it Why I Can't Take Action. And then you sit down and write all the reasons why you can't take action. And the action that you're wanting to take is to be a content creator. And the person was like, yeah, that's what I do. I said, well, hell, turn the camera on and record it. I said, tomorrow morning, get your phone out, hit record, and then do your process. And after you finish your process, post it. If you finish your process, post it. Yep, Nike got it right. Just do it. Just do it. Stop trying to label stuff. Stop trying to label stuff. Stop fighting for a limitation. Everything is content. I promise you. Do it. Like I told the person, just do that. Record it. And then after you record it, do the voiceover. Hell, record me. Take the snippet out of our session and put it as the voiceover. And then tell the story how every day for 2 weeks you done got up and strengthen your reasons why you can't. Hell, if you recorded it every day, you got 2 weeks of content. This hit dog is hollering. Yeah. Hear from Threads. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Hush Money. I like your name. I like your name and pray that I never have to experience it. I like your name and pray I never have to experience it. It's clear to me now. Yeah, I watched it. I gotta grease my scalp, as they say. Yeah. All right, y'all. So again, today's EYT82. If you're not a subscriber, become one because you can watch this again. There's 81 other ones to watch. I got you. I ain't gonna go there. So y'all, what I'm trying to tell y'all is the words that you're speaking. If you keep creating a word as something you need, and then, okay, if you say you need discipline, then go get discipline. You can do it the same way. I titled this Why I Can't Get Motivation. You can cross out motivation and say why I can't be more disciplined. Whatever your word is, why I can't get over imposter syndrome, why I can't be more consistent. Hell, whatever word you want to put it in. Back to work. All right, take care. Have a great weekend. Whatever word you need to put in, because I can tell you right now, you done gone through the words. You got a whole list of reasons in words why you haven't been able to take consistent action. Pick at the title of this, take out motivation, put in whatever word you want to put in. It's the same process. Define that word. The definition will tell you. Feel the feel and ask yourself, what would I feel? Not what would I feel if I was consistent? Not what would I feel if I had motivation? Not what would I feel if I didn't have imposter syndrome? Not what would I feel if I was more committed? No. The reason to act is to experience the prize that you get from acting. The reason or the desire to do is to experience the prize that you get from doing. So what's the prize? Y'all, I have a Coach to Coach mastermind group. And if there's any aspiring coaches, I have two kind of groups. One in the broadcast here on Instagram, so you can join that group. It's like almost 1,000 coaches in there. You can join that, and I drop nuggets of information, and different things. And then if you want to be a part of the Coach to Coach mastermind group, which is $25 a month, we meet once a month on Zoom, and in that we pull back the layers. We talk on Zoom. We hold each other accountable. Well, in that group, I sent a message and I said, hey, get on Threads. I wish I'd sent it sooner. I got on Threads about a month after it came out. I didn't know that Threads was going to monetize. I just figured it's a different, I really wasn't really using Twitter or X. And I figured, okay, well, here's an alternate social media It seems to be pretty easy. So I got on there almost a year ago, about a year ago, as soon as they came out. Wasn't really doing much, but growing followers just, in general. And now I have about 11,000 followers on there. Well, now this past month, they rolled out monetization. I had no idea when I got on there. But because I showed up, here I am. And so this month, I wish I could show you screenshots, but this month I've reached a level of $700 this month. Who couldn't use an extra $700? I can use it. Sometimes you've got to show up when it doesn't seem like there's a prize. Here's what I've done before they even announced the experience of monetization on Threads. Threads is mostly typing, like Twitter. It's made me a better writer. It has made me a better writer. In matter of fact, I will tell you, in 11 months I've been there, I've cracked a little tiny code of what gets your eyes on what you type. And I've tested it 3 times, and each one of those have gotten over 100,000 views. So I feel pretty confident that I've cracked a code. I couldn't have cracked the code if I didn't show up. I couldn't have cracked the code, and I showed up terrible. I was just posting anything. And eventually I started to notice a pattern, and then I started to play around with the pattern. Then I started to work the pattern, and it took all this time, but here I am. Did I need to get motivated to do that? I have one primary motivation, if we'll use the term motivation in my life. One primary motivation, if I'm going to use the word motivation. One primary reason, one primary thing that gets me up every single morning. One. And I've told you this, and I'll say it once more quickly. And I never put the two together until 8 years ago. 8 years ago, my mother was nearing the end, very near the end of end-stage renal failure. And we got the call that said she got about a week left to live. So whatever you want to do as it relates to your mother, you better get your butt home. And so I took off a week, and the doctor set up 7 days. On the morning of the eighth day from what they told her was the day she went on to glory. So I had 7 days, and my mother was bedridden. She could talk the first 3 days. The 4th day, it was really sleeping, and then the last 3 days into that 8th day coma state, eyes closed, no movement, shallow breathing, slowly to nothing. So we really had 3.5 days. My mother talked a little bit more. I got to feed my mother watermelon. She loved watermelon. I got to listen to her. I got to see something I ain't never seen in my life, and I ain't never seen in a movie. I ain't never seen in anywhere. And I knew my mother was strong, but I ain't never seen nobody so strong and so fierce and so ready. She knew what was going on. She knew what it meant. I ain't never seen a person, and she was only in her 70s, maybe even 71, 70. She wasn't even that old. But I ain't never seen nobody more brave and more stoic and more ready. More ready. She said, I know where I'm going. I know what awaits. She said, I did the best I could in this life. And so on that 8th morning, when I got up, and because I would check on her in the morning, my niece had checked on her at 5 something in the morning, and then now it's 8 o'clock. And as soon as I got up, there was a hue coming from the room. There was a color coming from the room. It was like this, almost like a bluish tint. And something inside. Normally, as soon as I would get up, I'd rush to her, make sure she's, still breathing. And then I'd go, do my toiletries, wash my face and everything. This morning, so I got up, and as I was the room where I was and where she was only about 12 feet, and it was open. And so as I got to the third foot, it was as though a hand put itself on me and said, you don't have to rush today. I got her. Woo! I got her now. And it was a joy that I couldn't explain. And so instead, I turned right and went to the bathroom and then came back out, did my stuff, washed my face, brushed my teeth, looked in the mirror, and then walked in. And it's like when I walked into the room, that blue that I felt, that energy that I felt. My mother was dark skinned, so her face was just beautiful. And as I walked closer, oh my goodness gracious. And we weren't close, mind you. This wasn't somebody I talked to every day. We weren't that close. So you got to understand all of this energy. But as I walked in, and what we would do is we would look for breathing, check pulse to know that she was, still alive. And so I'd already had the internal a confirmation, but I needed the external realization. And so as I walked closer, the energy of love enveloped me, the energy of peace enveloped me, the energy of transition surrounded me. And as I walked closer and I got closer to her and I did my usual, I looked, chest wasn't moving. And I had my watch and I counted a minute. I was like, it's been a minute. I said, it's been 2 minutes. And then I gently, no pulse. And that face was just so beautiful and still. Oof. And I didn't know what I kind of said this those first 3 days with her, but she was doing more of the talking. And as she got quiet, I would come to her and say these things to her. But this time I said it. I knelt, she's in the bed. I sat down and I whispered to her. Same thing I said at her funeral. Well done, thy good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things. Take your rest. Thank you. And I know she was gone, but I promise you I felt her say thank you. And so ever since that day, for years, I knew to operate on my assignment, to live my assignment. But ever since that day, those words, and that's scripture if you don't know. If you don't know, it's scripture. Ever since that day, and it still took a few years for it to really bubble up in me and shift me in the me you see today showing up. Every time you look up, I'm on here teaching and doing. Well done, thy good and faithful servant. That is what I aspire to experience every time I'm blessed with the opportunity to rise and greet the gift called today. Every day. How long did it take for that mindset to shift? I don't know, because I was doing stuff before that. I was doing stuff before that, and I was doing stuff after that. But there's something I will tell you for me, as I got closer to 50, I'm 51 and a half. But as I got closer to 50, so 47, 48, this was 8 years ago. So I was 43 when my mother, 43, 44, 44. So I was doing stuff kind of, doing fine. I mean, I was fine, but a fire, a sense of urgency, shifted me. So I can't tell you how long it took, but I can tell you, from 44, 45, I don't know, there's something about seeing the next number. And I've said before, each decade I had a sense of urgency rise me up a little bit. When I turned 30, I had a sense of urgency rise me up. When I turned 40, I had a sense of urgency rise me up. And as I was approaching 50, I had a sense of urgency rise me up. So it might be the same for other people. I don't know. So I can't tell you how long, but I can tell you that moment shifted something in here. And I started to ask myself, what do I want to hear? What do I want to hear? Well done, thy good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things. In other words, you haven't been perfect. But this is what I hear. This is what I believe. This is the scripting that I hear, if God was speaking to me. Well done, thy good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things. I gave you gifts, and you ran with them. You failed a whole bunch. You got up and rose again. You messed up a whole bunch. You got up and turned your mess into a message. You got tested a whole bunch, but you turned your test into testimony. You wasn't afraid to show up imperfect. Matter of fact, that became what you were known as. You took what I gave you and you ran with it. You multiplied it. You did what I'd asked you to do. I gave you something not for you, but for you to give to others. Well done, thy good and faithful servant. I long to hear those words. So I say them to myself every night. And I say them because I took my assignment and made it into a verb. I teach. And if you get the lesson, you change. You change for the better. I don't know if you need to have an experience like that to feel this. Because I was already feeling it. Again, I told you for 20 something years, I've been saying the wealth you seek is in your gifting. And then I would say to myself, I'm incredibly gifted. I'm incredibly gifted. I didn't know what I was gifted in, but I said I'm incredibly gifted. I just said it over and over. And then I started inviting the opportunity for the gifting to show itself. And you know the funniest thing? Let me show you what I'm gifted at. Let me show you what I'm gifted at. Because y'all get sidetracked in thinking that you got to be gifted in it's got to be this big, huge thing. It could be something so simple as this. This is my gifting. The ability to draw a stick figure, a line, another stick figure, a flag with MD for manifested desires, an arrow that says forward progress. My gifting is in my ability to show you and help you understand where you are, where you want to be, and the forward progress to get there, and the forward progress in your system, the thoughts, words, actions, feelings, choices, and decisions. This is my gifting. If somebody said, are you gifted? Yeah, I'm gifted in what? Stick figures. It ain't got to be nothing big. It ain't got to be nothing fancy. It's one simple message that I repeat over and over and over and over and over. Forward progress, the quality of your life. It's broad. It's not specific to a vocation. If you stop saying, why can't I get motivated? And you start saying, What am I? What's one thing I can do that I feel moves me forward in the direction of my desires? Don't you understand when you are moving in the direction of your desires, God has positioned you, God has given you certain strengths, talents, abilities, and gifting that when you're moving quote unquote selfishly in the direction of your desires, you got to help people along the way. That might not even be your goal, but you have to. Because if you're starting this business, people got to buy the stuff from you. If they're buying the stuff from you, it alleviates a problem in their life. It solves something in their life. It makes their life easier. So when you move in the direction of that which you desire to experience, you're helping other people grow. You ain't got to figure out your gift. Figure out anything. What is it that I want? Move in pursuit of what you want. Because I can tell you right now, it's evolving around one of three things. Better health, wealth, or relationship. Move in the direction of your desires and your gift will unfold. Stop trying to figure it out and move in the direction of your desires and let your gift unfold. I love reading. I have loved reading since I was a child. And then when I got a little bit older in my 20s, I love reading self-help books. Love it. I probably read almost anything out there. Not only read it, but because I'm wired to be a teacher, I read it and then I ask myself, what does this look like in my life? And I process it that way. I didn't know reading books and teaching would bring me income, but I moved in the direction of what I love, which is reading books. If you don't know what your gifting is, move in the direction of what you love. And let the energy of that love open up your gifting. Stop. I don't know what I'm gifting it. I don't know. That ain't going to get you a dang on thing, but more frustration. Move in the direction of that which you desire. Move in the direction. And as you're moving in the direction of that which you desire, ask and invite your gifting to reveal itself. Whew. That's another one of those words. Again, overthinking. You could have changed his title. Why do I keep overthinking? We are so sold out on putting a label on something. Putting a label on something as to why we can't experience something. Yes. The moment you feel the joy in doing something, anything, that's the direction to move in. I think Bashar talks about that. Move in your highest joy. If you don't watch Bashar, watch him. Move in your highest joy. And watch what unfolds. Move in your highest joy and watch what unfolds. Your highest joy. Stop trying to figure out, I don't know what my gifting is. I don't know what my gifting is. I can't do anything because I don't know what my gifting is. What's your highest joy right now? Move in that direction. That's it. That's it. You're welcome. I'm on my assignment. I thank you for thanking me. I'm on assignment. I'm on assignment. This is EYT 82. EYT means elevate your thoughts, evolve your thinking. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm here on Instagram, 12:30 Eastern time, doing this. If you miss it, or you can't show up, or you happen to pop in today and you wonder what this is about, become a subscriber, and then you can watch all of them anytime you want to. Yep, you can find it on any social media platform. Didn't know why I opened IG. Yeah, you didn't know why you opened IG, but God did. Y'all, if you see me take a deep breath and breathe, it's it's because I'm allowing the enthusiasm of the moment to catch up to my conscious awareness. You're welcome. You're welcome. So I'm going to turn this around and do a quick recap, and then I'm going to enjoy, I don't know, lunch because I'm starving. All right, y'all. Again, today's the 19th, EYT Motivation. And by the way, for subscribers, I remembered this time. So if you want to go back and watch this, it'll have a cover and it'll have today's date. But motivation is the reason or reasons one has for behaving or acting in a particular way. Motivation is also the general desire or willingness of someone to do something. This is where we get hung up. Do something. So when somebody says, I don't have motivation, I think they're saying, I don't want to do it. I don't have the reason to act. Well, the reason to act you ought to have. What's your manifested desire? What is it you want to experience? That then becomes your reason to act. But the desire to do something, what you're really wanting is the experience of the prize that you get from the doing. In other words, I'm not just doing this to do it. I'm not just doing this to do it. My prize is I'm living on assignment. My prize is I'm generating income from doing so. And that gives me freedom. And so how do I get to the space of the reason to act once I've identified what I desire to experience? I ask myself, what would it feel like? What does freedom feel like? What does it feel like? It feels like getting your paycheck from your 9-to-5 job and you ain't got to pay no credit cards. You don't have to pay no bills. Whatever you want to do with the paycheck, you can do with it because all your bills paid off. That's a wonderful freedom. What does freedom feel like because you're showing up? It feels like getting 4 paychecks a month instead of just the 2 that your company pays. What does that feel like? It feels like I can go to the beach if I want to. I can go hang out this weekend. I can do whatever. Freedom. So that's how my life changed. See, you also focus on I got to do something instead of focusing on the prize that you get from the doing. And if you give your energy to the prize you get from the doing, you know what happens? You say, I don't have a strong feeling of wanting to experience the prize. Instead of talking about I need to try to motivate myself, I just need to invite the strong feeling of experiencing the prize, which simply means I need to saturate my system with that feeling. What would it feel like? And you do so with these questions. What would it feel like feeling my manifested desires? What would it feel like being debt free? What would it feel like spending this weekend with the love of my life? What would it feel like, dancing in that black dress because I lost 80 pounds? What would it feel like, driving that sports car? I don't know. Whatever your manifested desires, what would it feel like? And when you do that, what you're doing is experiencing inner transformation. And the inner reflects the outer. Inner transformation for outer realization. And how can you make this real simple? Move in the direction of joy and watch it unfold. Stop complaining. Stop blaming. And recognize if you say, okay, yeah, I'm sabotaging myself, you haven't taken the time to get in the feeling of the feeling and give yourself permission to know that you're safe as you expand in this joy. The only reason why self-sabotage comes up is it's trying to keep you safe. That's all. I got my water. Sorry, y'all. I done talked myself out. Talked myself out and forgot my water. So I'm going to end it here. Enjoy the rest of your day. This is available for you to watch, rewatch, replay. Adios, y'all.